Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into the truly untold story of a pioneer, the guy behind the very screens we stare at every single day. We spend so much of our lives swiping, tapping, and connecting online, but we rarely stop to ask how the foundation for this totally interconnected world was actually laid.
Really ask yourself, who actually built the very first iterations of the smart devices in cyberspaces that we completely take for granted today? Who was out there dreaming up handheld touchscreen computers and digital community hubs decades before everyone had Wi-Fi in their pockets?
Well, the answer is Scott Joy. He's a visionary whose lifelong mission hasn't just been about creating tech hardware, but really, it's about engineering human connection. His work spans from the very first consumer applications of the microprocessor all the way to modern networks designed to actually strengthen our democracy.
So let's get right into Section 1, the hidden tech pioneer.
Just look at this timeline. It is wild how far ahead of the curve he was. Between 1978 and 1994, when most people were just barely wrapping their heads around the idea of a clunky, stationary desktop computer, Joy was already shrinking that power down. He was out there designing interactive tools for children, building early smartphones, and pioneering tablet computers.
Which brings us to Section 2, Dawn of Smart Devices.
Back in 1978, through his company Cyanco, Joy designed the Smart Alec. This was effectively the grandfather of those leapfrog toys you see absolutely everywhere today. He was connecting kids to interactive learning for the very first time. He used these 6x8-inch cards, graphics on the front, barcodes on the back, and a microprocessor keyboard that literally read the cards to trigger learning games. Oh, and here's a fun, surprising fact. His team at Cyanco also designed ROM. That was the first cyborg toy marketed by Parker Brothers, and it actually became the inspiration for the Marvel Comics series of the exact same name.
Fast forward a bit to 1990. He founded Telepad Corporation and built the Telepad Uni prototype, alongside the principal developers of the Amiga computer. Get this, the Uni was operated with a pen, or even just by touch. It featured voice communications and had a data modem built right in. It possessed the core functionality of our modern smartphones years before they were a thing.
And he definitely didn't stop there. By 1994, he was leading the design of the Telepad 3 tablet computer. It drew massive industry praise. In fact, Pen Computing magazine called it a complete rethinking of what a portable computer should be. It was such a hit that when Joy took Telepad public, he raised $30 million in equity capital in the first year alone. Telepad even pioneered the outsourcing of electronics manufacturing to Taiwan, becoming one of IBM's first outside clients.
Moving right along to Section 3, the first cybercafe.
Okay, you have to hear this. In 1980, long before the World Wide Web was a household term, Joy conceived and financed the world's very first internet cafe. He called it the Planet Restaurant. It was a 200-seat venue located on Connecticut Avenue in Washington, D.C., literally just 3 blocks north of the White House.
Inside this place, he connected patrons to early online news, games, and computer conferencing. He set up lounge terminals connected to The Source, which, if you haven't heard of it, was the very first online news and game service and the actual inspiration for AOL. Users could also access the New Jersey Institute of Technology's EIS system. This was an early form of computer conferencing, basically a precursor to the forums and group chats we use all the time today. On the 3rd floor, he even hosted a Futures Club. Through all of this, Joy was fundamentally proving that digital networks could foster real-world, local community connections.
That core drive to connect people and devices, it carried right into the modern era. Between 1996 and 2001, he founded and served as president of Roku Technologies. Here, he continued his theme of bringing things together by pioneering wireless peer-to-peer connections between mobile devices, PCs, and servers. He formed joint venture partnerships with major tech giants like Hewlett-Packard, Nextel, and 3Com, and even worked with Sun Microsystems on software development. That paves the way perfectly for Section 4, Building Knowledge Networks. Today, Joy serves as Curation Director for On-Air Networks, overseen by a nonprofit 501c3 and licensing software from the On-Air Tech Corporation. This platform is designed as a completely nonpartisan space. The whole aim is to provide trustworthy information and really foster civic engagement. Branded as the People's Platform for Democracy, its goal is straightforward but powerful: to connect citizens with their government, their candidates, and with each other.
To give you an idea of the sheer scale here, the network comprises exactly 50 curated state hubs, all of them feeding into a national U.S. on-air hub. It's heavily supported by volunteers from U.S. colleges, universities, and nonpartisan organizations, and it's structured to act as a reliable resource for entirely unbiased information.
The platform is built around 3 very core civic functions. Step 1, learn from trusted sources. Step 2, discuss issues civilly. And Step 3, find common ground with fellow Americans. Joy is essentially using the exact same internet architecture he helped pioneer decades ago to support these constructive civic goals today.
And that brings us to our final part, Section 5, a legacy of connection.
When you look back at it all, from teaching kids with the Smart Alec microprocessor in the 1970s to connecting professionals with the Telepad smartphone in 1990, to uniting citizens via the nonpartisan on-air knowledge network today, Joy's legacy really isn't just about hardware. It's about engineering human connection. He recognized so early on that microprocessors and screens are just tools. The real magic happens when those tools allow human beings to share ideas, to learn, and to grow together.
Which leaves us with a final, pretty important thought to consider. How are we going to use our incredibly powerful modern devices to actually build community rather than divide it? Scott Joyce showed us that the architect of our digital world always intended for us to find common ground. The technology is already right there in our hands. Now it's totally up to us to decide how we use it.